Hello and welcome to Story Time with Mrs. Dawes and with Christopher Cub. Christopher Cub decided that he wanted to listen to this story with you too. And it's perfect because it's a story about a bear, and Christopher Cub is a bear. So Christopher Cub, I hope you enjoy the story. Can you wave at the kids? All right, I'm going to put you down. All right, Christopher Cub, you're going to wait right here. All right, you can be watching with the kids. Okay, Bear feels scared. Let me get it just right. Bear feels scared. The author of the book is Karma Wilson. The title is Bear Feels Scared. And the illustrator, or the person that drew the pictures, is Jane Chapman. Now, as you listen to the story, I want you to pay attention to number 1. Where is the setting, or where does the story take place? Number 2, I want you to think, who are the characters in the story? And number 3, I want you to listen to what happens at the beginning of the story, what happens in the middle of the story, and what happens at the end of the story. So let's read our story. Bear feels scared. In the deep, dark woods by Strawberry Vale, a big bear lumbers down a small, crooked trail. Now, lumber, you know what that word means? That means to move really slow. So maybe today, while you are walking around the house, you can lumber around the house by moving really slow. You would be lumbering. Bear's tummy growls as he looks for a snack. But it's cold, 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 so the bear turns back. You know, I know that it must be really cold because the author is using cold 3 times. That's telling me that it's really cold out. He is not home yet when the sun starts to set, and the bear feels scared. Look at him. He's looking behind. Even kind of the color of the sky, and the illustrator's letting us know that it might be a little scary. Bear shakes and shivers as a storm starts to howl. Bear mutters, "What is that? Are there spooks on the prowl?" So look at Bear hiding behind that tree. It's too bad we can see him. He's just scared. Have you ever been scared and then every sound you hear makes you even more scared? I have. The path gets dimmer and the sky grows gray. Bear looks to and fro, but he can't find his way. He huddles by a tree and he wails, "Poor me!" Now, if you wail, that's another fancy term for crying. So Bear is crying and he's saying, "Poor me." He just is really scared. Have you ever felt scared like that? I have. And the bear feels scared. That would be scary, to be all alone in the woods by yourself and not really knowing where you're going. Meanwhile, back in the warm, cozy lair, friends start to worry for their poor lost bear. There's his friends. They're all sitting there. They're nice and warm, but they're wondering, where's Bear? Is it late, Mouse speaks, and our bear doesn't roam? There's a storm, cries Hare. Shouldn't Bear be home? Look at the difference between being outside and on the inside. On the inside, they say it's nice and warm and cozy. Oh, poor bear. I wonder what's going to happen. Wren tweets from his perch. We must all go search. What if Bear feels scared? Well, we know that Bear is scared. The friends bundle up and begin to prepare. They form a search party for their lost friend Bear. But Bear is all alone, and he sheds big tears. There's a noise in the forest, and he feels big fears. Bear is so scared. That's that feeling that you get when you feel lost. You feel like it's too dark and it's scary, and there you are. Have you ever felt like that? I felt like that before. Bear trembles in the wind. How he longs for a friend. And the bear feels scared. Look it. He's hiding. He's so sad. Will his friends find him? Badger lights a lamp and he shouts, "Let's go!" All the birds search high, while the rest search low. Why would the birds be able to search high? Well, because they fly, right? And the rest are on the ground because they don't fly. With a flounce and a flutter, they set off together. They trudge down the trail through the wild, wet weather. They call, "Ho, Bear, are you there? Are you there?" And the bear feels scared. Look at Bear. Can you find Bear in there? Look at all the friends. Look at the birds. Look at this light. Is that Bear? But he perks up his ears. Is it Mole calling out? And is that Hare's voice? Does Bear hear him shout? When Wren, Owl, and Raven all squawk from the sky. It is Bear! He is there! And they sigh big sighs. They found Bear. By a tree waits Bear, 10 feet from his lair. And the bear looks scared. Do you think he's going to stay scared now that he has his friends? I bet it'll change. Let's watch and watch. With a flap and flurry, all the friends gather near. They give him bear hugs. They calm his bear fears. Look at that. Later in the night, all clustered in a heap, the bear spins stories while his friends fall asleep. Do you think he's scared anymore? Did his friends help him feel safe? I think so. Cuddled up tight, they move through the night, and Bear feels safe. Bear feels safe. Now we're going to switch over to a flip chart. So let's see if this will work. I might have to change the way my camera's looking. There we go. Let's see. There I am. All right. We read the story Bear Feels Safe by Karma Wilson. Now this sheet is pretty familiar to most of you in my class. Let's do some filling it out. Now this first fancy word over here is the word setting. And setting means where the story took place. This story was pretty easy to figure out where most of the story took place because it took place in the... Where did it take place? Do you know? What's the setting? It even tells us in the story, it says, in the deep, dark woods. So I'm going to write actually. Maybe I'll type it. All right, the setting was in the deep, and I'm going to make this even smaller. It was in the deep, dark woods. Deep, dark woods. Now, who were some of the characters? The characters are the people in the story, the animals in the story, and sometimes characters can be even things like talking cars or talking trees. But the character is the who or the what the story, who's in the story. So who would be one of our first character that you can think of? Well, of course, Bear is one of our very first characters. Who else do you feel would be a character in this story? As I page through this, I think we could add his friends. And I see that Hare is one of his friends. Here, I have to move this over so I can... Hare. Hare would be a type of rabbit. When I look through here again, looks like, well, we've got a crow. I could type crow. I could type an owl. Trying to think if I know all the names of these animals. They were all his good friends. Well, we know there were birds. We know there was an owl. We know based on there was a, let's see, a badger, because the badger is right here. So we could almost say that the characters in the story were Bear and all of his forest friends. And we could add to the list, or we could just leave it. And I think I'm just going to leave it. What happened in the beginning of the story? Who can tell me? What happened at the beginning of the story? You're right, at the beginning of the story, Bear is scared. He's scared because he's all alone in the woods. What happens in the middle of the story? Yeah, that's right. His friends go to look for him. Yeah, they're wondering, where is Bear? And so they do a big search party. So that would be what happens in the middle of our story. Whoops, put this over here. Now, what happens at the end of this story? Do you remember? That's right. Bear is not scared. He's not scared anymore. Because where is he? He's not scared. Because he's at home with his friends. He's in their lair, in their warm, cozy lair. Let me see if I can do it like this. So boys and girls, when we retell a story, we want to remember to say where the setting is, who the characters are. Then we want to remember 3 parts of the story. The beginning of the story, what happens, in the middle of the story, and at the end of the story. All right, this is where I'm going to stop. Thank you for joining me for story time.